In this video, I'm going to talk to you about how to manage your passphrases, seed phrases, and private keys. So this is incredibly important in crypto because security should be your number one priority, and your private keys and your seed phrases are basically where all your money is. So, if someone was to get hold of your private key or your seed phrase, they could restore all of your crypto stored on that wallet to any of their own devices and basically transfer all of that money and send it to another address. So it is incredibly important to have really, really good security practices around your seed phrases and your private keys and passwords and that kind of thing. So there's a few options for this. Many people suggest that the only way that you should do this is to write down all of your seed phrases and private keys and lock them up in a safe somewhere, okay? That is probably the most secure method because they can't be hacked. I mean, someone's got to break into your house and break into your safe to do that. For me, it's a little bit impractical having to write out your private keys and your seed phrases. You may end up with a lot of these as you go. I know I've got heaps, probably over 20 or 30 different ones. So it's a little bit impractical for me to do that, but it is the best security. So if you do want to be super security conscious, then you will basically keep everything on paper off the computer. Even when you have a device like this, so this is a Ledger Nano X that I'll be running through in another video. So I have updated this part of the video as I have changed the application that I use for this part of my security. So the new application that I've used and tested, which is really good, is called Nord Locker. Okay, Nord Locker. If you recognize the name, it's by the same people that created NordVPN, which is a VPN server application. And so this is their encryption tool. So without further ado, let's go ahead and set this application up. So first thing you want to do is go to nordlocker.com, and then what you want to do is click Get Nord Locker, and we are going to use the free version. It has up to 3 GB storage, which is fine. It has all the other benefits. So click Get Started. Assuming you are using Windows, I'm not sure whether, or it is also available on Mac, so you'll be able to use it on Mac as well. So let's go ahead and download that now. When that finishes downloading, we'll click to open that. The default application will do. Go ahead and click Install. Once it's installed, we'll launch Nord Locker. Now, I do already have an account, but if you don't have an account, you can click Create Account. It will take you online, and you'll be able to create a new account. So simply fill in your email and go through the prompts. In this case, I already do have an account, so I am just going to log in with the account that I already have. Once you do log in through the web interface, it'll give you this dialog here to open Nord Locker Launcher, so you want to select that. It's going to go back to the app now. It's going to log us into the app. So you will probably be asked to set a master password now. I have already set one. Look, this is the single password to access everything. So I really, really recommend you use a very, very strong, very, very long password. So, mine is probably over 20 characters, uppercase, lowercase, numbers, symbols. You want a combination of everything. In this case, I do choose a combination of words and symbols and numbers that I remember so that I can access this from anywhere. But you may choose to enter this into your LastPass account as well and create a super strong password in there. Just please make sure you create a long and very complex password, because anyone that gets access to this could access all of your seed phrases and everything. So it needs to be a very, very strong password. Now, when you log in, you'll probably have two here. I think it has an intro one and a personal one. I've removed the intro one. Now, this personal one is linked to the cloud. So Nord Locker is very cool in that you can automatically sync it to the cloud. I'm choosing not to use that cloud feature because it is actually in beta as well. So I prefer not to use beta stuff, especially for something as sensitive as this. So what I'm going to do is use my Dropbox account. So I'm going to store this encrypted file on my Dropbox account, which is going to replicate across my devices. And I'll need that super strong password in order to unlock that locker file on my Dropbox account. Okay, so the way to do that is obviously you need to have your Dropbox account set up. If you don't want to have it on Dropbox because you are even more security conscious,
then you can just store this locally on your computer. I would recommend you always copy a backup to your USB drive as well, in which case I'm going to do that as well. So I've also got a USB drive that I'm also going to copy this to each time I make an update, just so I have multiple copies of this. Okay, so in this case here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give it a name of, I usually just use a miscellaneous name. Just use something that's not obvious, just in case someone does manage to locate that locker, and store it on your Dropbox account. So I'm going to go through, for now I'm just going to use one that's called, say, test, and I'll just store this, actually no, we will store this on the Dropbox account, so we can use that as an example. So I'll just store it here, Dropbox Nord Locker, and select the folder and then click create. Now so that's going to create like an encrypted drive in a file that's now stored on that Dropbox account. Okay, now you can't create new files in here, so what you actually want to do is to create just a what we'll do is just create a text file in another folder. So I'll just go into, say, here and create a new text file. Called stuff, and then you can just basically drag that file directly into here, and it says, do you want to create an encrypted copy of the selected items or encrypt the original? So this is empty, so it doesn't really matter too much, so I'm just going to move that in there. And then once that file is inside here, you then can just edit that file directly in here. Okay, so I can double click on that and I can put some text in here, seed phrase, private key, etc. Right, so you can add those into there just as text files. And then now basically what happens now, that will save it to the Dropbox account and also replicate it on the other devices. And what's really cool, I have tested this, if you have Nord Locker open on, say, your laptop or another device, it does update on the fly. Even though the file is encrypted on Dropbox, it does automatically update and be accessible to your multiple devices. When you have finished editing or accessing that file, what you can do is just go to File, Exit App. That will exit the Nord Locker application, and you can either just open it by searching for the file. So if I go to open that up again now, we will see that it will ask me for my master password. Okay, so you won't be able to access everything.